Welcome 2024, first ride, let's go. So it's the fourth day of the new year. It's been really cold, not really been feeling it, and been busy with other things as well. But fourth day, first ride. It took a while for me to get out, but here it is. I'm just out on the camping bike, the bike packing bike. Reason being, I've booked flights for something that I've been talking about for a while now, and I've booked flights to go out later on, well, in a couple of months actually, a few months, to go out abroad and do an extended bikepacking trip. Never done it before, so I think it's essential in the next couple of months at least to try and get all my kit tested. So I'm out on the bike, I'll show you that in a minute when I stop. But yeah, chosen a great day. Not that cold actually, you'll notice no gloves yet. Anyway, it's getting a bit colder, but yeah, I'll show you the bike in a bit and some plans for this year as well. Not going very far, just down the Greenway, the Spen Valley Greenway, so it's probably going to be a very short 14-15 mile ride, but main objective, check some of the upgrades that I've done to the bike. I've been tinkering with it, I put some new tyres on it, I'll show you all of them in a bit. So one of the reasons I'm out actually while I've stopped, I'll just go over, is to do a quick check of the bike. So the bike that I'm going to be using, or plan to be using, I've been preparing for a while, is this Trek Ion CX Pro. Very capable CX bike, and in terms of adjustments, what I've done is I've put a much bigger cassette on there, and the real test that I wanted to make was 47 tyres. Still very unsure about them. The bike says it's got clearances for about a maximum of 38, so I'm running it very, very close to the margins. And if I'm going to be abroad, then the main thing I want to be looking out for is that if I'm running very close tolerances and there's a slight twist in the frame, I may well end up with it rubbing. So I might end up going back to the 38s that I was running previously, but the 47s do make for a much comfortable ride. I mean, it does make the ride a lot easier, but I just want to make sure that I don't have any mechanical issues whilst I'm out there. So I may end up going back to the 37s, but 38s. But anyway, going to be running 2 pannier bags, frame bags, up front bag, and then the 2 that I haven't brought with me today are the 2 duffel stuff bags that are going to be going on the front forks as well. They'll have my tent and most of my wet gear as well. So yeah, that's a quick bike check. Good day for it. Not too cold, but I think I'm going to have my gloves back on in a minute. If you've not stopped here before, then it's definitely worth a stop. I won't be stopping today, I've barely done 3 miles, but it's a little cafe, sunflower pot, always worth a stop if you're about. There it is. Right, let's move on. Beautiful crisp day, not too cold, just right, and it's just so nice to get out. It's alright doing all the spin bike sessions, nothing like actually getting out on the bike. I am feeling the resistance on these tyres though. It's alright having the added comfort of the bigger tyres, but yeah, it takes a bit more effort, and the Greenway's pretty flat. Those of you who know it, you'll know it's not very challenging, not much of an incline. It's a very steady incline to Bradford, and then it's downhill all the way back. So I think it's like 400 feet across the 7 miles to Bradford. So not very challenging, but yeah, feeling it. Just coming up to the rings. Little, I don't know what you'd call that. Little art installation or whatever it is. I don't know if the camera's captured that, but somewhere down the Greenway you've got this. In fact, let's just why not? One second, the early observation actually. I'm hoping the camera is picking this audio up okay, because it is quite windy. But the 47 tyres do make for a very, very comfortable ride. Just stopped at Joe's Wood in Liversedge. Whilst I've got the opportunity, I thought let's just do a little side by side. So here I've got the GoPro and I've got the iPhone, and just in case you're wondering, it's the iPhone rear camera, the better one that I'm using. So yeah, part of the exercise, or part of the purpose of this video, is to try and see what the images from the GoPro are as compared to the iPhone, and whether it's worth the bother of actually taking the GoPro. Because with the GoPro I'm going to have to then carry additional kits, the mounts on the bike. I'm also going to have to then do some additional editing as well, but I think it'll be worthwhile in the long run. Okay, so this should be side-by-side footage of the GoPro in this hand, on my left hand, and the iPhone in my right hand. Straight away, I mean, the iPhone, it's just so much more intuitive. I can just do so much more with it. It feels natural. It's something I use every single day. So I think a lot of my shots are just going to be captured with the iPhone. If you've not been on the Greenway, or if you have and you've just whizzed by it, in Liversedge here, you've just got Joe's Wood. Just there, maturing nicely actually. Going back to the bike, so far so good, performing very well. I've got 2 additional bags, but I'm not too worried about them. Just there, like the duffel type stuff bags. The rest of the bike pretty much ready. Yusuf, my son, has done a great job kitting it out. There's a few little niggles that I need to iron out, but here's a little side by side. Have a look, see what you think. One of the things I have noticed about the GoPro, and I know a lot of GoPro fans will probably be upset at me saying this, but it's almost like they go out of their way to make it really awkward. Everybody else does things in a certain way, GoPro will just do it in another way. But maybe that's just me, and because I'm not a frequent GoPro user. But yeah, it's not exactly easy to, especially when it's in a mount or it's in a harness or anything, to get to stuff. But I suppose those are the downsides of it being an action camera. It's so much more capable in other respects, and you can do stuff with it that you just couldn't do with your phone. So yeah, but anyway, really trying very hard to get on with my GoPro, but can't say I am getting on with it. This is like the 4th or 5th attempt I've tried to make better use of it. But yeah, I mean, being out now for a little over half an hour, it switched itself off about 3 times now already, so I don't know whether that's a software thing. But yeah, I'll try and update it. I'm sure I did last night, but yeah, not getting on with it the best. But I've got 2 months to try and iron out any issues, because I am very keen on taking an action camera with me, or an adventure camera with me. The phone does have its limitations. I do love it, the fact that it's so accessible, it's always there, you can take a picture. With this, you almost got to plan it. Phone just comes out your pocket, you can capture something straight away, whereas with this, there's every likelihood by the time you set up you've missed it. But yeah, those are the observations for now. Halfway to Lowmore, and hopefully I'll be able to see just how the two perform in edit as well. So I'm going to try some of the voice commands in a bit, because if you've got both hands busy, and if I've got both hands on the bars on a descent or something, then the voice commands, I suppose, will come into their own. See in a bit. Back to the iPhone for a quick test on this, because I did the whole handheld thing with the GoPro, so I'm just going to have something to compare with. So again, just to confirm, I'm using the rear camera, the better camera, and in terms of audio, I'm hoping that this audio is better than what you'd normally get on the iPhone if you just had it held in your hand, because I don't know whether you can see it, but just next to my ears I'm using the aftershocks, which means that the microphone is far closer to my mouth, and you can hear a lot clearer as well. Not sure that's a good thing, being able to hear me, but I'll let you judge. But yeah, that's another test. Side by side, I'll try and get them on the edit. I don't really know how to do that on the edit, but I'll work it out. If I can get them side by side, see how the visuals and the audio compare, iPhone versus GoPro handheld. I know I'm going to get a far wider field of view with the GoPro as compared to the iPhone. The iPhone is capable, but I just haven't got it on that setting. So yeah, just pass these guys safely as possible. Hiya. I mean, all these bumps on the road bike just be murder, but on these softer running, wider tyres, you hardly feel it. Got loads of wet leaves on the ground, got good grip, says that. probably just before falling off. But I'm approaching the motorway bridge. That's a little comparison. iPhone. Let's see how they compare on the edit. Speaking of edits, actually, if anybody's got any recommendations for software, currently using a combination of forgot the first one actually, but the second one that I find quite intuitive, quite easy, got a lot of templates I can just nick, is CapCut. Find that quite useful actually. The other one, I just remembered, is InShot. Not as intuitive, quite fiddly, not as many choices. I might actually go as far as the subscription for CapCut, so if anybody does have a subscription for it, the full pro version, let me know what you think of it, and may consider actually just buying that for what I'm going to be doing. I do hope to be doing a few videos over the next few months, just as something for me to be able to remember the experience. But yeah, let me know. I'm currently on the iPhone front camera in cinematic mode. Now I realise when I'm doing this I'm probably going to need some form of attaching the iPhone to my wrist, maybe by means of a lanyard or something, because it isn't exactly safe. I've not dropped it yet, but yeah, this is front camera cinematic. I'll stop and then just do standard video side by side, so then you can see the difference. Just coming up to the train station at Lowmore now. Seems to be some sculptures over there. Can't pan the camera, sorry. Train passing. There. And here we are, Lowmore. I'm going to carry on just a little bit further. I normally take a break down there, but there we go. Platforms 1 and 2 are we going by. Thank you very much. So here we are at Lowmore, finally got here. I promised that I'd tell you what the tyres are. They are the Michelin ProTech Cross Max, and they are 747C. So I mean, you can tell just compared to my road ones that are like that, and then my cross ones which are kind of like that. But hopefully you can see my point there with the clearance. Not a lot of clearance, even less here. Yusa did a great job of making them fit, but this is what I mean by tolerances. Doesn't really leave much. All that's got to happen is maybe a slight problem with one of the spokes and it sends it off, and next thing it's rubbing. So do I need that problem while I'm abroad, nowhere near civilization or a bike shop that can sort it out for me? Not really. I'm going to be carrying extra spokes in there, yes, but you know, problem avoided is better than a problem resolved. But anyway, that's it there. While we're here, let me just tell you about the Pedals for Orphans bike ride as well. May the 4th it is, we have an annual bike ride to raise funds. I'll just let these vehicles pass. For the Pedalers Embrace Orphanage out in Lebanon for Syrian refugee kids. We have about 33 kids out there, so if you can, if you haven't signed up already, sign up for it, and somewhere in the description I'll leave a link if they allow me to, and you can make a donation there as well. So that's the piece to camera for the GoPro. I'm going to switch it over to the iPhone and then I'll put it onto the back of this video and see how they both compare. So here we go, iPhone on the wider lens, the wider angle with the rear camera. There it is. Just for the sake of audio, I'm using the aftershocks, so hopefully the audio is better than just trying to record off the phone. So a lot of you that use the iPhones, you will have noticed, depending on which camera you're using, front or rear, the audio is very much different. Like if I'm recording with using the rear camera, the audio is totally different. Sometimes it's almost, you can't even hear yourself. So there you are. So the purpose of the video, like I said, really just to test my kit, test the bike, take it out. It's been a while since I've had it out. Try the bikes, the rack on, the bags. With most of my kit, I've still got some kit to load, and then I've got the stuff bags for here to load as well. But that's not a lot of weight. So I want to get most of the weight on the rear, see what that's like. So iPhone front camera, standard video. So yeah, it does give that element of cinematic value, that whole cinematic thing. It's quite interesting. It'd been interesting to see how much more data it takes as well. I'll look that up once I get home, and then I'll see what it looks like on the edit. But front camera, not that bad actually. Let's see how it comes out once uploaded. And then just for comparison, this is just standard video. I'll have to check data, like I said earlier, check the data, see if it doesn't use that much more, then I suppose it's worth shooting in cinematic sometimes. Again, there we go, subject in frame. I don't know whether it makes any difference as opposed to just backgrounds, but do you know what I find? Now I may be wrong, and as I use more and more mounts, I may change my mind, but I'm really liking this setup. I mean, it's totally bodged. I mean, it's improvised, so I'm just using a little handheld thing that the GoPro sits on, and I've got that attached to this lanyard. But I find this, probably because this is the way I'm accustomed to shooting, so when I'm on the bike I just reach for my phone, grab it, take the shot that I want at the angle that I want, and then I crack on. I'm not restricted to mounts or angles. But yeah, let's see. Suppose it gives me options, so I can turn it around now, I can do a piece to camera, speak to the camera. Hopefully you're getting this, and hopefully it's on a decent angle as well. But yeah, very improvised, very bodged, but works well. So I've got an inkling actually that this mount is gonna be a lot shakier. Now I don't know how much stabilization the GoPro is capable of, but I've got an inkling already just from looking at it that adding that extra piece has made it less stable. But let's see, check it all out on the edit now. Also, because it's facing me, and this particular version doesn't have the screen on the front, I can't see what it's capturing, so I'm hoping that it is actually a decent angle and I haven't got like 10 chins or something. Never very flattering when somebody's filming from below, but at least it gives me the option of doing pieces to camera. I'm going to turn it around in a bit and then see what it's like front facing as well. So I'm just testing a different mount. I'm hoping that this one gives a better field of view. The other one is quite close, and it was chopping the top of my head off, so I've added a little extra piece, which means that it's less stable, there's a little bit more vibration. But I'm hoping that it can actually get me some just my chin area there. So again, just one for the edit really, just to test. I'm heading down now in traffic down to Saltown, just to test with like road, how stable it is in speed as well. So yeah, let's see what this angle's like, because I tested it with a slightly shorter step and wasn't very, it kind of got me from here, and I had to go like that in order for the camera to get me all. I think that this one's got the whole of me, so if I do have to do just a little chat to camera, I've got this mount as an option as well. It's a shame that I haven't yet found swivel in one, so at the moment to make it face the other way I've got to take it off the mount and clip it back in facing the other way. I'm sure one exists, I just haven't found it yet, so that would be the ideal scenario. Then I could just keep it on the one mount, not have to clip, not have to unclip, just swivel it around either to face the front or the back, or ideally if it did like a full 360 then I could just have it facing any direction that I put it on. Let's see how it performs in traffic. Okay, so here's the same mount with the extended piece, which I thought would give much more vibration, but it's now front facing. One thing I can see straight away is I've got my bag there, which the earlier mount, just let this one pass. So the earlier mount sat a lot lower, so most of the shots had the top of my bag visible. I'm hoping that this one, it gives like another 3 or 4 inch clearance. I'm hoping that it's cut it all out. So let's see, again, something to the edit, let's see what it's like. That's what today's ride's all about really, just to check kit, check bike, check how it all works together. Last thing you want is to be on the trip that you're planning and stuff to go wrong on the trip. So next couple of months I'm going to be out on this bike, fully loaded, as heavy as possible, with all the kit that I normally take, as well as the video capture kit, the tech, the power banks, and a little bit of food. Like, one thing I have noticed, I do this route regularly, the fatter tyres and the additional weight of the pannier bags does make a big difference. Whew. Normally don't feel that little lump at all. Last stop for today's ride, we're at the office of World Care Foundation. Just going to nip in here for 5 minutes and then back home. Right, I think this is going to be my last clip of the day. Just manoeuvring out of this traffic over to the right. So I've got a HGV behind me, very kindly gave way, moving over. Probably a bit too early to move over, but I'd rather be out of the traffic. I think I've got a big enough gap. Let's go. Homeward bound, half a mile. And let's do some editing. There we go, rear camera cinematic. I don't know what it does. Oh yeah, I can see how it's just blurring the background. But yeah, very nice. Again, I'm going to have to check the data and see how much it actually uses. Let me turn it around, maybe you can see the contrast better if you've got a subject in the frame. But that's cinematic. See what that looks like. Ooh.